10 toxic queen moments that showed her true character. Number 10. Princess Diana. The top secret revealed by Diana was back in 1995, when the princess agreed to sit down with the BBC's Martin Bashir for an exclusive interview. In the interview, Diana opened up about her marriage to Charles and her experiences with the royal family, and admitted that she had also had an affair during her marriage. She revealed that Charles's long affair with Camilla Parker Bowles made her feel worthless. There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. Iconic. Diana did not care and exposed Charles pretty badly with that. She said that she suspected Charles's staff was waging a campaign against her. In addition to her revelations about the royals, Diana also spoke about her struggles with bulimia, postpartum depression, and self-harm. It's really sad to hear how much the charismatic and charming princess was suffering. Hopefully the newer royals have access to more resources to help with their well-being, as should everyone. After the interview aired, Queen Elizabeth II wrote to the couple, who at that point had been separated since 1992, and told them to proceed with their divorce. In the years following the release of the interview, it's been alleged that the BBC showed Diana's brother Charles fake bank statements that they claimed were proof that the media had been paying the royal family for information about Diana, in order to convince her to tell her side of the story in the interview. Number 9. Neglecting her kids. Being both the Queen of England and a mother likely posed significant challenges for Queen Elizabeth, and the evidence suggests a strained relationship with her kids. Prince Charles openly described their connection as distant, implying a lack of intimacy. Sources close to the Queen revealed a preference for her husband, Prince Philip, over their offspring, indicating a possible favoritism dynamic. Princess Anne characterized growing up with the Queen as a bit of a challenge, a typical British understatement revealing deeper complexities. Even Prince Edward acknowledged a lack of warmth from his mother, stating, "My parents were far more dedicated to their work than they were to me." The Queen's commitment to her royal duties seemingly led to missed milestones in her children's lives, as she did not attend their birthdays, opting to send representatives instead. Quality time with her children was reportedly not a priority, with Prince Charles expressing that meaningful one-on-one conversations were a rare occurrence. The challenges of balancing regal responsibilities and maternal duties may have contributed to the strained relationships within the royal family today. Number 8. Personal funds. The British royal family, particularly Queen Elizabeth II, has managed to maintain secrecy around their wealth and assets, avoiding scrutiny and legislative measures that might expose the extent of their riches. The Queen successfully influenced the government to alter a draft law concealing her private wealth from public disclosure. She also secured exemptions from searches for stolen artifacts on her estates and laws against race and sex discrimination within her household. While the Queen's personal wealth is speculated to be in the hundreds of millions, the exact amount remains undisclosed. The monarchy, adopting the business name The Firm, engages in offshore investments that escape taxation. The inheritance of Charles III's mother is exempt from inheritance tax. The British monarchy, often referred to as the Firm, serves as a symbolic link to immense wealth, embodying a form of feudalism and emphasizing the privileges of the rich and powerful. Despite projecting an image of charitable giving, the monarchy maintains a position at the intersection of old wealth and political influence. Number 7. Gagging order. Queen Elizabeth's former dresser, Angela Kelly, has reportedly been granted a new residence in the north of England after being compelled to vacate her Windsor residence. The arrangement comes with a unique condition, an agreement not to disclose any further royal secrets. This isn't just an ordinary confidentiality clause, it's a royal one, carrying considerable weight considering the source. The implicit understanding is that defying the Queen's wishes is akin to attempting the impossible. Kelly, in exchange for her silence, receives a new home, a seemingly favorable arrangement. Speculation arises about the intriguing secrets Kelly might be privy to, ranging from mundane details like the Queen's eating habits to potentially more significant revelations. However, the strict rules and regulations that accompany being part of the royal family are acknowledged, especially by someone like Kelly, who served as the Queen's dresser for over 25 years. The situation highlights the unique dynamics and discretion required when dealing with matters behind palace walls. Number 6. Prince Philip. Following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II's husband, Prince Philip, his legacy is overshadowed by a history of controversial and racially insensitive remarks spanning several decades. The longest serving consort in British monarchy history, he retired from public life in 2017 at 95. Despite his offensive comments being dismissed as gaffes over the For over 40 years, they have left a lasting impact on his legacy. Notable instances include derogatory remarks during a 1986 visit to China, where he called Beijing ghastly and made racially insensitive comments about the appearance of British students. In the same year, he made offensive remarks about Cantonese cuisine and Papua New Guinea. Prince Philip continued his controversial statements in 1994, questioning the ancestry of Cayman Island residents and inquiring about spear usage with an Aboriginal leader in Queensland in 2002. The fact that the Queen did nothing to stop his racial tirade is crazy. Number 5. King George V denied his cousin asylum. The story of Tsar Nicholas II and how he and his family passed away is well known to many. You might not be aware that the Queen's grandfather, King George V, is a cousin of Tsar Nicholas, and that the two were said to be very close. Tsar Nicholas II applied for asylum in Britain for himself and his family, but the king turned him down because he was concerned about the rising political tensions in his own country. Sadly, the Tsar and his family and his wife all went missing. And I don't think the Queen has talked about it at all. I mean, the least you can do is apologize for what your ancestors did. Number 4. Hiding family members. The royal family, often showcased like an art exhibit, has a history of concealing less favorable members. Prince John, King George V's youngest son, who succumbed to epilepsy at 13, was hidden from public view, with some family trees omitting his name. Royal biographer Christopher Wilson notes the family's tendency to erase individuals deemed unfit for public image. Similarly, Queen Elizabeth's first cousins, Nerissa and Catherine Bowes-Lyon, born with mental disabilities, were secluded in the Royal Earlswood Institution. The family falsely reported their passings in 1961, maintaining their secrecy. Despite being born in the same year as the Queen, the Bowes-Lyon cousins led separate lives due to a lack of understanding about mental disabilities. Shockingly, Nerissa lived 25 years post-falsified demise, while Catherine passed away in 2014. The story reflects the abandonment of vulnerable family members for factors beyond their control. Number 3. Affairs. The relationship between the late Prince Diana and King Charles was marked by evident lack of chemistry and affection, exacerbated by Charles's long-standing affair with Camilla, now the Queen Consort. Diana, feeling unloved, admitted to her own extramarital affairs, including a notable connection with her bodyguard Barry Manicky. James Gilby, a friend, faced controversy after a leaked 1989 phone call hinted at inappropriate activities. Diana was also linked to James Hewitt and art dealer Oliver Hoare. Speculation arose about Prince William's fidelity, with reports suggesting an affair with Rose Hanbury during Kate's pregnancy and Prince Louis. The incident strained Kate and Rose's relationship, leading to Rose's exclusion from their social circle. Despite public curiosity and past rumors, allegations of William's infidelity remain unproven, with some dismissing them as baseless. The complex dynamics within the royal family continue to captivate the public interest, while Queen Elizabeth remained silent about all of that stuff. Number 2. Camilla. According to King Charles III's biographer, who spoke with Newsweek's Royal Report podcast, Queen Elizabeth II always detested Camilla Parker Bowles and only agreed to give her blessing for the royal to be known as Queen Consort because of an unspoken deal behind the scenes regarding Prince Andrew. The King, written by Christopher Anderson, is a new biography. According to royal commentator Kristen Mainzer and Newsweek chief royal correspondent Jack Royston, the life of Charles III, one of the new monarch's primary responsibilities is to sell Britain on Camilla, his second wife after Princess Diana. Camilla, who is now Queen Camilla or the Queen Consort, first met Charles in the 1970s, and the two were in and out of relationships ever since. Charles admitted to adultery when his marriage became irrevocably broken down in 1981, when his marriage to Diana began. Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, Diana said of Camilla in an interview with BBC Panorama in 1995. So it was a little crowded. Elizabeth's relationship with Camilla before she married Charles, and then as a daughter-in-law, has been widely speculated about. In the early years of Charles's relationship with her, the Queen reportedly regarded Camilla with caution. That grew to a total distance following Diana's passing, but the Queen began warming up toward her in the later years of her life. Sources say that it took 8 years for Charles to finally convince everybody to accept Camilla as his wife, to convince the Queen to allow him to marry Camilla. He had to jump through all those hoops. Number 1. Tax fraud. The family has been exposed numerous times and have been dealing with a number of issues, one of which is tax fraud. The late Queen was once exposed for concealing her embarrassing wealth from the public, which may or may not come as a surprise. It was alleged that Queen Liz's private attorney pressed ministers to modify proposed legislation to prevent the public from learning about her shareholdings. Even though the Queen's actual holdings were never made public, we can only assume that they were in the hundreds of millions of pounds of range. Invested at least $13.1 million into offshore tax-sheltered funds located in the Cayman Islands and Bermuda, according to Newsweek. Party leaders and anti-monarchists investigated the Queen's finances, specifically her private funds, the Duchy of Lancaster, and discovered that the Queen is evading taxes on her $680 million duchy by $15 million. That's all for today.